Oh my gosh, welcome back. My name is Jeff Fritz. Welcome back to my live stream. This is Fritz and Friends. We're going to write a little bit of code today. Today is May 14th, 2019. So good to see everybody. Look at that chat room. Look at that chat room. Oh my gosh, they're going to it. Hey, Hugo. Ryan is here. Mordecai Zuber. Hello, hello. Carrie's here. And the Hugo doll. The Hugo doll is here. Good to see you. Everyone fully recovered from build yet? We're still getting there. We're still getting there. IH Developer, hello, hello. Kasukin, good to see you. And Jurgen's here. Good afternoon. Guten Nachmittag, my friend. Good to see you. Coder Cat, howdy indeed, Coder Cat. Oh my gosh. Still watching videos. There are so many great videos from Microsoft Build. I hope you get a chance to watch all the great stuff from Microsoft. And then come on back here. We've got 3 or 4 days of videos. I think there's a total of 10 hours of videos that you can see where I'm interviewing all kinds of the folks that were speaking, attending, and assembling, producing Microsoft Build. It was a great event. We had a lot of fun there. We did some pair programming with our friends from Mobilize.net, Twilio, and DocuSign, and showed how you can use all 3 of their products to modernize an application and do some really neat things with it. So I hope you check that out. Next week you'll be alone at home. You'll do a build binge watching. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I am updating a little bit of software here on my Mac because May is for Macs. Every May we spend the entire month writing code together on a Mac, and I'm making sure that I have the latest version of Visual Studio 2019 for Mac, as well as the latest version of the .NET SDK. Before I head over to the Mac, let's get some music playing in the background here. Oh my gosh, Jay Rotello, thanks so much for that 3-month sub. That'll put you into a red hat. That's what it is. I always get these confused, the red and the blue. It'll put you into a red hat, and you get a little red hat icon next to your name there. Thanks so much. And with all of our subs this quarter, we're going to make a donation to Veterans Who Code. Thank you so much. Yes, let's get that music to code by playing. I've got a bunch of them sitting here, and today I think I'll play red because the hat I'm wearing today indicates that I am excommunicado. I don't know if you saw the movies John Wick and John Wick 2. The third John Wick is coming out this weekend. I have tickets to go see it tonight. My local comic shop, I went and I picked up my comics, as you do every week, because you need to pick up your comic books. And they said, "Hey, Jeff, you're here all the time. You're a great friend to the store. We set up a showing across the way at the movie theater. We're gonna see John Wick 3. Hey, Smab, thanks so much for that resub. 4 months. That is awesome with your Twitch Prime. Terrific. It comes out this weekend, but John Wick 3, we have a preview release. Do you want to go see it with us? And we've got a cool hat for you too." I'm like, I love my hats. So I got the Excommunicado hat. It says John Wick 3 on the back. So excited for this movie. So I'm going to try and make it out tonight and get over there to see it. I'm really excited. Yeah, John Wick 3 comes out this weekend. My daughter asked me to take her to go see Avengers again this weekend. So we saw that one again too. I think that's 3 now. Yeah, we've seen Avengers 3 times. Now, the wife and the daughters haven't seen either of the first 2 John Wicks. And I don't think I want the daughters to watch John Wick. But I got to talk the wife into seeing the first 2 John Wicks. And I don't think she's going to finish seeing them before tonight. So I might end up going alone. And going to see a movie alone? Not a fan. Not a fan. Chris Jones, hey everyone, just listening while in at work. Good to see you, Chris. Quick note about some of the emotes. I rolled out last week, while we were at Build, I rolled out 3 new emotes. There's now 2 different emotes. It's the bot, the Fritz bot with a shield. One where he's kind of defending the raid. Another one where he's, what's he doing? He's doing a thing. Oh, where he's got it kind of in front of him. There's an angry bot emote where he's upset. But I also replaced the default bot. So now C# bot is not the .NET bot anymore. It's now this Fritz bot, this customized version of the bot that I've been using. You're also going to get I replaced the old hype bot where he's kind of holding a sign that says hype, and I replaced that with an emote from our friend Carrie Payette there that says darn Skippy. I don't say that at all here. It's not reading it? Fierce Kittens with the tier 1. 6 months. That's going to put you into a blue hat. Thanks so much for that. And where is your Dole Whip? Where is that Dole Whip? Woo! Yeah, we love that Dole Whip. Oh my gosh, that was a tremendous clip from the other day. Hey, thank you, Hugo, for sharing out those emotes. I'm going to be over at the hat, my embroidery shop, Wednesday or Thursday this week. I got to nail down which day it is. I'll have the hats made and we'll have them shipped out, hopefully before the weekend. So, all of our friends that made donations to St. Jude as part of Fierce Kittens squad stream with us on Sunday, you should receive your hats next week. I'm really excited to get those sent out to you. Yeah, a lot of darn Skippies there in the chat room. Some Dole Whip. There's the Dole Whip emote from Fierce Kittens. That was a tremendous stream. If you haven't seen it, it's going to be kind of hard to watch it because you're going to see only one side of the video. So I've downloaded both videos from Twitch, and I'm working on editing them together so that it cuts back and forth between us. And you hear one continuous soundtrack as we change position as to who's actually discussing and leading, or maybe even go to 2 pictures at the same time as we're discussing something and going back and forth. Where it's a little bit tricky to edit because it's a little bit different from just a normal video, trying to edit these 2 into one that are the 2 sides of the conversation. It was tremendous. What do you use to edit? Asks Coder Cat. I use Camtasia. I've been using Camtasia for a long time. I know Adobe Premiere is kind of the de facto one that folks use, or Final Cut Pro. But Camtasia's been good to me. It's been really good. 4 bounces. 4 bounces of what? 4 bounces? Yes, so Fierce Kittens is there in the chat room. I got to make sure that I call this out. So she's over 8,000 now. If she gets back to 10,000 before the end of the month, $10,000 raised on her St. Jude fundraiser, and we're pretty close. We're only 1,700 away. She's going to return to doing coding streams again. And I think at that point, if she's doing coding streams again, we can consider putting her back into putting her on the live coders team. I think we could. Maybe. Oh, 4 bounces. You're 4 steps. You're referring to the 76ers match this weekend. My gosh, against Toronto. Yeah. In basketball, you can only take 2 steps before you have to bounce the ball. This guy took 4 and then put up the game-winning shot, and they didn't call it. Insane. No green screen suit over here. I've got a green shirt that I could put on. You don't see all of me, and trust me, you don't want to see this dancing on stream, okay? Don't want that. Yes, we're going to help kids fight cancer. Donate to St. Jude, play live through Fierce Kittens. We're going to leave that bot running so that we let folks know. And you'll also see the St. Jude play live icon pop up here. While I am not myself running a fundraiser, I want to make sure that folks help out Fierce Kittens. She's done a tremendous job with that. Yes, 10,000 is phenomenal, Ryan. And Lannon's back from vacation. Good morning, Lannon. Great to see you. All right. Let's go over. Gosh, I am all over the place. I don't remember where we left off here with the project. So I need to get back into this after a week and a half away from writing code on this. Let's dig back in. There's my Mac right there. We are pushing towards our follower goal. We get to 8,000 followers before the middle of September. September 15, I will dye the beard rainbow for TwitchCon. And Fierce Kittens will see the rainbow in all its glory because she's going to be there as well. More Dole Whip. Oh my gosh, the Dole Whip was strong. The Dole Whip clip. Yeah, was tremendous. So many people saw it. If you didn't see that clip from okay, that's fine. If you didn't see part of that stream over the weekend, let me see. What's the best way that I can do this? Let me go back over. Nope, that's not one. There it is. We did. Where can I find it? It was like, it's my most popular post on Twitter right now. I've got to open it back up. Dole Whip? Yes, Dole Whip. That pineapple soft serve ice cream that they serve at Walt Disney World. Where is it? Tweets and replies. Oh, look, more rain. See, this was last night on the Fierce Kitten channel. We're not looking for that one. Lana was on last night. Yep. There's the 4 steps. Here we go. It was in this one. Yep. When you finish converting an application to, let's go back over here. From .NET Framework to .NET Core, you should celebrate like Fierce Kittens did. Updated the application from .NET Framework to .NET Core 3. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing Dole Whip.
You get to dance, I get to dance.
Yes, that was tremendous. All right. So that was just some of the fun that you missed from this weekend. You got to make sure you check that out. People have never seen the stupid stuff you do think it's great. Yes. No, it's if there's one thing that I think you've learned from watching me here on this stream, it's and that I learned from Fierce Kittens is that we've got to have fun on Twitch. You can't do straight ahead coding, straight ahead crafting, whatever it is that your thing is that you're doing on Twitch, playing games. People can only watch so much of that before they're like, okay, it's this again. You need to be infotainment. You need to have some fun with it. You can't take yourself too seriously. And my gosh, dancing to Ode to Joy while ice cream goes flying across the screen. Why not? So, and we do have fun, but most of the time that includes code. So, I just finished downloading and installing the latest version of the .NET Core 3.0 SDK. This was just released last week as part of Microsoft Build's announcements and all the different cool things that happened there. Yes, thank you, CoderCat. I'm glad you agree. Why not? Carrie says she needs GIFbot. Talk to the Fierce Kittens. She will hook you up. In fact, if I know Carrie, she's not going to want just GIFbot. She's going to want to put something IoT with GIFbot so that you can do a GIF thing with it. I know Carrie. She's not going to just let it go. Lee, 1977, thanks so much for the resub. 3 months, and that'll put you in a blue hat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It is under lock and key. We're working on that. Any plans to dive into ML.NET? Yes, CoderCat. In fact, I've been talking to the folks on the ML.NET team, and you see this little bit here, the sentiment analysis that we have here. We're talking to them about updating that so that we can updating that to use ML.NET so that we can do sentiment analysis and have it understand our emotes, and we can train it with those emotes so that it knows whether a C# gritty emote is a good emote, a happy emote, or a negative emote. C# and then, is that a happy emote or a negative emote? And we'll put some of those things together, and we'll learn a little bit about ML.NET when we pair program with some of those folks. and build out. We'll work on this. We'll take a look at some other things that we can do that'll be fun together here on stream. It's in the cards, Coder Cat. It's just a question of I want to bring in those folks because they're experts in the space and talk about it a little bit. I do have an open invitation to the Seth Juarez.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. It's just we stream a little bit early, and he's still getting his beauty sleep. So we might do something with that. See, look at this. Mordecai wants the GiftBot features running here with a shame. Yeah. Maybe we need to do some more of those. So I've downloaded and installed the latest .NET Core 3 SDK. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, though, with the .NET Core announcements build 2019, because our friend Scott Hunter, if you didn't catch him, it's not that one. I want to go to the blog. You make me sad. You make me so sad. That's not the button I wanted. It's this one. There we go. Dev blogs, Microsoft.com, .NET. I'm not used to this keyboard. Yes, new SQL data client, entity framework, diagnostics. .NET Core is the future of .NET, blah, blah, blah. 3.0, here it is. Not only do we do .NET Core 3, and we know that's coming out in September. We're going to see the release of .NET Core 3. It was announced it will come out during .NET Conf in September. You might know somebody who's hosting .NET Conf. Oh yeah, that's me. So you know .NET already comes with all these really cool things. Desktop, web, cloud capabilities on the Azure, or your favorite cloud, whatever that might be. Xamarin. Hey, Frank. Didn't read it again. No, it's really not. Testing the French of the bot. Well, no. So you got Xamarin, you've got gaming with Unity. You got to check out. Oh my gosh, we added a couple new streamers over the weekend to the Live Coders team. We added QMacro99, who specializes in SAP development. So if you're an enterprise developer, you want to learn more about SAP, check out QMacro99. But we also added 2 game developer streamers. We had a Tim Bodette, who you saw on my stream. I was hosting him just before we went live. And we also added Lana Lux. Both of them are doing some development with Unity. Lana is doing exclusively with Unity and C#. You got to check out her stream. It's very chill, very focused. She's been spending some time in the last day or two building some models for her game that she's building. And you can find her other game right now on Steam. So make sure you check out Lana Lux, and make sure you check out Tim Bodette also. Tim's building racing games right now, doing a little bit with C++. So you can do gaming with .NET. We've got IoT, and Carrie does some great stuff with IoT. And we also just mentioned ML.NET. We released .NET for Apache Spark as well, so all of that you can do with .NET Core 3. But now we're going to introduce something called .NET 5. Thank you, is that Jam a Lambda? Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that, and look forward to seeing you in the chat room. So, yes, we're going to have one .NET version releasing every November. You're going to have a predictable cadence for this, and .NET 5 will come out in November 2020. Well, hi, 1234, hi. Good to see you. The LTS releases will always be the odd version numbers. So you're going to have general availability of .NET Core 3 in September. You'll have the LTS, the long-term support that you'll get 3 years of support on, will come out the .NET Core 3.1 version, and that's when we expect to see Blazor client side. We expect it to come out with that, but things may shift there. It's just a question of meeting the quality bar. So we'll see that in November. But then starting November 2020, you'll get the GA of .NET 5. You'll get the LTS. Next LTS will be .NET 6 in November 2021. So this will help you plan and manage which versions of .NET you're on. Now .NET 5 is going to merge the runtimes, okay, between .NET Core and Mono and Xamarin. This means that when you build your application, you'll be able to choose whether you want to build for ahead-of-time performance, or if you want to, like you see for applications that are built and deployed to iOS, or that are built and run in the browser like Blazor client-side. What you'll also be able to do, though, for those environments that don't require ahead-of-time compilation, you'll be able to continue to use the just-in-time compilation model, and they'll be 100% equivalent, and you'll be able to choose which runtime you want your .NET 5 to run on. That also means, because Xamarin supports Android, you will have Java interoperability on all platforms. That's a big one for me, because as a web developer, it means I might be able to integrate with some Java source code and Java compiled applications. That'll be big. So it's a bold goal. It's about 18 months out. Let's see how they do. We'll follow along with the previews and all the release candidates right here on the stream as that comes along. So all kinds of information here about justifying a little bit of what that means. And I want to make sure that I was here to answer any questions from folks about .NET 5. Guessing they're jumping to .NET 5 so people don't get confused with the old .NET 4. That's right, Lennon. We don't want to confuse those version numbers because there's a lot of version numbers floating around. So back in December 2018 is when they actually said, this makes sense for us to do. Let's start talking about merging these together. And they need to announce it now because you're going to start to see some of this movement happen in the GitHub repositories. And we don't want you to be scared or be concerned or start seeing some folks floating some FUD, some fear, uncertainty, and doubt out there. Lee asks, I'm a little behind the curve. Have you heard talk on whether WCF is slated to hit .NET Core? Microsoft is not porting WCF Server to .NET Core. However, as with Windows Workflow, there was an organization, there was a consulting group, I forget exactly who it is, who stepped up and said, we'd like to continue to support Windows Workflow as an open source project. And because there was an appropriate custodian for that framework, Microsoft donated the remaining pieces of source code they needed to that group, and there's an open source version of Windows Workflow that is being developed and maintained by that organization. This is a question of custodianship. We feel, and Microsoft feels, that there are other technologies that folks want to use going forward for those things that WCF delivered. So instead of continuing to support a framework that, quite frankly, a lot of folks are moving off of, the vast majority of Microsoft customers are moving off of, and it will continue to be supported with .NET Framework 4.8, but they're going to allow an open source organization to take over custodianship of it, and to migrate it to .NET Core. The fact is, it wouldn't be identical to WCF when it gets to .NET Core as well. It'll be a little bit different. You're not going to be able to just lift and drop your code into .NET Core. You're going to need to do some migration because .NET Core runs differently and configures differently. But, and it's a lot of work. It was going to take 3 years of work for Microsoft to do that work, to do that migration. So, if there is an organization that does want to run it, and they've been in contact with several organizations, then there might be an open source future for .NET Core hosting WCF. But right now, you'll still continue to receive great support and features, great support and security updates for WCF on Windows with .NET 4.8. Hey, InstaFluff! Look, InstaFluff is here. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. I just want to go down the chat room here. I thought the fun part is with .NET 5, there will be no .NET Core anymore. It's a naming thing. What is .NET Core will become the base of .NET 5, and it will be both runtimes together. Both the mono Xamarin runtime and .NET Core, one compatible runtime. Brave Cobra is here as well. Wow! Oh, InstaFluff, I'm doing fantastic. I'm crossed over that threshold of recovering from Build. My gosh, there was so many great things that happened at Microsoft Build. We got to see InstaFluff. There were a number of great pictures. InstaFluff joined us for a couple of things. We had him on our code party on Sunday night. We saw Ninja Bunny there as well. It was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, we are getting the band back together. It was quite amazing. So I'm glad that cleared it up for you, Lee. I want to make sure that folks understand the position of those things that Microsoft is deciding, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here answering questions on Twitch. John Game yesterday downloaded Edge Insiders Dev on your Mac to try it out, running smoothly so far. Great to hear it, Lannon. E.A. Johnson talked to a couple of Microsoft employees at Build about WCF. Yeah, it was going to take many man years to port over. It's tricky. The lead engineer for WCF took a stab at converting just one piece of it, and it took a while, and it was not fully functional. And there's a bit to make that thing work. It's definitely interesting. Hey, Tim Bodette is here. Welcome, Tim. Great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh my.
Yeah, Tim's here. One of our new Live Coders team members. So good to see you. And yeah, but InstaFluff didn't even go to the conference, but got to hang out at all the events in the evening. It was great. Deeds91 asks, you ever think there'll be a Visual Studio IDE for Linux? So here's the thing, Deeds. Did I see? Svava, thanks so much for that cheer. Microsoft, particularly the developer division, is very customer data driven. And that's why they're making decisions to do things like this with consolidating all the .NETs into one .NET 5.
CodeBytes just subscribed.
Thank you so much, CodeBytes, for that sub. And we'll make a donation to Veterans Who Code this quarter. Thanks so much. I really, really appreciate that. So the division went and polled customers, folks that would consider using Visual Studio on Linux, and turned out they didn't want a full IDE. They wanted an editor. They wanted to be able to use all the text editor things and have it extensible, and that's where Visual Studio Code came from. Was that decision to say, yes, we want to support folks with some of the great editor features we have in Visual Studio, so we'll make Visual Studio Code. Smab says, I've limited myself to 97 more sessions of Build to catch up on after watching the live sessions. Good luck. Oh, yes. Lower memory usage on Mono is going to be very awesome. So Mono is that .NET framework that Miguel Diacaza and his team reverse engineered from way back in the day. And they've been modernizing it, doing all kinds of great stuff with it. And you see it building some of your favorite games today. But it hasn't gotten some of the performance improvements, memory management capabilities, and garbage collector enhancements that .NET Core has, that the formal .NET team has. So by now merging those teams and being able to cross-pollinate across them, your games should start to perform better when they get those new features from .NET Core. Your applications that are built with Mono that run on iOS and Android should start to perform better when they're deployed with .NET 5 and they get those features. It didn't read that one either. Ancient Coder, thanks so much for joining. 9 months with the Twitch Prime. Fantastic. Good day to you, Ancient Coder. Great to see you. And SPJG, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. You think Rider's a great alternative for folks on Linux that want a full IDE? More power to them. Go for it. All right. So I've downloaded and installed all the latest features from the .NET Core 3 SDK. I just updated my Visual Studio for Mac to the latest preview version, so we should be able to use that. And we're continuing our work on this project, the Quiltoni Pixelbot. Not enough detail on one page. Sorry. Hey, SPJ. Good to see you.
Wow.
SPJ is here. Look at that right there. I actually think, Frank, to finish the thought on Rider, I think Rider is a good entrant into the .NET IDE market because it means Microsoft needs to stay honest with the development of Visual Studio. They can't just sit back and say, we'll add features every now and again. No. Because there's competition, now you need to press. You need to actually deliver good value for the customers. And I think that's a very good thing to have competition in that market. So, we've been working on this project. This is called the Quiltoni Pixel Bot, so named after our crafting streaming friend Quiltoni, who needed some help with a little bot to manage faux currency in her stream. And we started building that, and the one thing when you build one of these bots is you build it for yourself, and it ends up being single-threaded, single process. And when you need to start extending that so that you get into multiple processes or multiple threads, maybe you're managing multiple channels and you need just a little bit more power, right?
Huge, amazing power.
You need to get outside the box. You need to get into multiple threads. You can't cross the threads. You need things to be isolated. So our friend Quiltoni was using this. Our friend Dryad T, she uses it as well. And we want to make sure that we can have one bot that handles 2 channels. And then we met our friend Fairy Wings, and we started building some bot things with that as well. Yes, InstaFluff.
More power.
Or does it sound better like this? Hang on. Do it like this. Where'd it go? More power. So, we need to do things to isolate and allow it to grow and deploy it out. We'd love to use containers with this, something that Robert Tables is really good about. Good to see you, Robert Tables. And allow it to grow and extend and use things like Kubernetes to be able to manage more folks who start using the bot. So how do we do that? Well, we started introducing the actor model into the bot. And I actually have a branch here called Feature Multi-Tenant because we're trying to introduce multi-tenant capabilities. I'm going to look at that security alert in just a second. So we created this orchestrator project, and we introduced Akka.net to allow us to use the actor model to isolate all the features, make all the capabilities of the bot really, really small so that we can extend it quickly and easily, adding new features and being able to deploy quickly by just rebuilding, dropping things into Docker. Yes, Docker. And scaling on whatever cloud it is that we want to use. So I think that's a noble way to grow this, and we've been adding features, we've been migrating features from the original Quiltoni Pixelbot single process, single thread application into this Pixelbot orchestrator and splitting things out so that we have our guessing game, right? That's a game that we built so you can guess how fast it takes Quiltoni to finish a task.
Oh my.
Yeah, she's pretty fast. And we'll separate out other features as well. We even have the ability to access and work with Google Spreadsheets broken out into another library. Because the way that Quiltoni and Dryad T both interact with their data storage is they store their data in a Google spreadsheet. Now that might work for those folks who are doing something with low throughput, something that's minimal, that they don't need to really go through, and they don't really need to go through and spend a lot of time thinking about. They don't need to do database management. I'm a fan of using a relational database like SQL Server to manage that. You may want to use MongoDB or Postgres, whatever your choice may be. But her choice was Google Spreadsheets. That way she could ask moderators, hey, go update Jeff's amount of currency and set it appropriately in the spreadsheet. So it's a little bit of a thing. Daniel Silva is here. Hello. Carrie Payette is crazy with the IoT. So does Robert Tables as well. I think we need to I think we need to put some categories on the teaming, on the Twitch team page, and also on our GitHub page that shows some of the cool things. Now that we're up to almost 50 folks on the Live Coders team. Ahmed Balak says, hello, how are you? Happy Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to you, Ahmad. While I don't celebrate, I know there's a lot of folks out there that do. All the best to you during your Ramadan season here. I got so many gadgets. No, I don't have gadgets. No. It is impressive, Quiltoni's free motion quilting. It's quite. You have said hello to me before. Yeah, but you didn't say hello with that nick here. Categories would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think we need to do a little categorization, grouping things together on that Teams page. Okay, let's get into the... You did? My apologies. All right, so I've got my TeamMux shortcuts and cheat sheet. Let me go back over to the terminal. I'm going to go down into my dev branch, dev folder here, and I should have... There it is. All right, I'm in the right branch. Let's make sure I pull in all the latest versions of things, all the things. Yep, good. And I'm going to actually tell it to watch. I'm just going to tell it to... Nah, I want it to test. I need to have it test in the right folder, though. There's several different projects here. I want to have it go into the orchestrator tests. And I will say .NET watch test. What this will do is it'll build this project, any project that it depends on, and execute unit tests. When it finishes executing the unit tests, it's going to go into a holding pattern. And if any file changes in one of those dependent projects, it'll rebuild and rerun the tests. So I can come back over here to the console, and I'll be able to see it running and testing properly. There you go. It ran the tests. There's only 2 tests in that project. That's a problem. We need more, lots more. And it executed successfully. That's fine. Fantastic. Since I'm on a Mac for May, can I briefly mention which command line terminal tools you use? You mentioned tmuch, which no, I'm actually using bash. Things like iterm or terminal. I'm just using terminal. I'm very simple when it comes to the Mac stuff. I don't customize much. And see, waiting for a file to change before restarting .NET right there. So let's go over here. I've already got Visual Studio opening. I'm going to open that project, that Quiltoni Pixelbot project. So we can go in and we can jump back into where we left off. And I'm not quite sure where we left off. If only I could have opened up our previous video and said, hey, what were you doing? Oh, we were working with the Google spreadsheet interactions. Okay. That's where we left off. So we were doing things like, so one of the business rules that Quiltoni has is when you subscribe, you get X amount of the faux currency. When you resubscribe or when you gift a subscription, you get, I think it's 2 pixels or her currency, and the person who receives the subscription gets a certain amount of pixels as well. So there's a couple of different things like that are going on. When you raid her channel, you get a number of pixels equivalent to the minimum number that she specifies, and in her case it's 3. So you'll get 3 pixels at a minimum and a maximum of 200 depending on how many folks you bring over on the raid. So we've got this all built out so that it should reach into that Google, where is it? I don't see it here in the solution. Did we not add the project? There it is down there, pixelbot.google. Let's bring you up here into the source. Join the source, Luke. Come up here. Are you sure I wish to? Yes, move it. Why do you think I dragged it up there, you? So there's this one here, Google Sheet Proxy. Yeah, reopen. Do the thing. Is it, where'd it go? Where's my terminal? Way over here. Yeah, that's fine. It didn't do anything. Nothing really changed, just the solution file. args.raid notification typo. Oh, look at that. Steve Smith. Hey, how's it going there, Art Dallas? Good to see you. Let me go back over to the raid actor. Args.raid notification. So here's the thing. I agree. That's a typo, but it's coming out of TwitchLib, which we're dependent on. So our dependency has that typo. I can't. Yeah, Do is right. You know. What am I gonna do? Look.
It can be done exactly how
It can be done exactly how I want it. You know I'm going to say it,
The only
Carrie.
question is, are you the man to do it?
Darn Skippy I am, and I'm not going to be able to change it. It's spelled just the way that I want it. So, good catch. Absolutely. A typo in an API. Right, Adam? Come on now. It says something about we as developers need to be able to spell check our APIs. You know? So... all right, we're good. I'm gonna close some of these. What's the hotkey to close tabs here in? Isn't there a hotkey to close the tabs? Close file is Option F4. Right? Can I do that? No, wrong one. Who'da thunk it? I know, right? Command W. Yeah, we should put in it. Well, yeah. We could put in a PR for TwitchLib. There it goes. Reopen that. Since I'm using a Windows keyboard for a Mac, I've got my Alt and Control kind of backwards here. You've already put in a PR to TwitchLib to do it. Nice! Thank you, Michael Jolly. I appreciate that.
Do it!
And he did. Someone has the Windows key mappings. I know, I do. So let me see if I do this one. Ah, that's better. So can I do... Or is it Windows W will close it? No. Alt W? No. Ew. But Control F... yes, that's fine. It's just that one thing that I did in there. So channel actor, channel repository, blah, blah, blah. So the Google Sheet proxy is a little bit tricky to diagnose and work through. I actually, for right now, I feel like skipping this and doing a little cleanup, come back later. I'd rather dig into a new piece of functionality than try and recover and work through this right now. I think it'd be more interesting to work through a new piece of functionality than to hit that. Is there a way to increase the font size on that solution? I was supposed to have a meeting with the Visual Studio for Mac team last night. Hey, here's what you need to do Visual Studio for Mac here on channel. And we delayed it to later today. Oops. Where is it? Options. I want to find the configuration for this. Preferences? Can I change the font size for the solution? There's no search deal over here. All right. Text editor. Anybody know where that yeah, typos are kind of lame. JAF 1021 is here.
Oh my.
Yeah. Welcome. Good to see you. I'm not looking for tools for Unity. I'm looking for like the environment. Visual style, is it under there? No. Fonts, maybe? Hopefully. Text editor, general pad, text, output pad. Is it, can I change this one? Is this the one that I'm looking for? Can I make it like 18? What happens with that? Hey, that's better. All right. I'm going to push it back down to like 16. I'm old, but I'm not that old. I want to make sure that you can see it. Yeah, visual style is just like the theme there. So, but I think that's better. It'll be a little bit easier for us to see what's going on here in our Solution Explorer. So, so we have those various channel events that are ported over, and right now they're very focused on managing the currency, handle currency method that's in here. I feel like we're going to want to push that out somewhere else. But that's not too much of a concern for right now. Leave the old one, mark it as deprecated. Not bad. Or leave the old one, reroute it to change the signature. No. I'm explaining something and I can actually show this in code. Let me open, I'm going to open RAID actor just so it's something here that I show. Right? So if we had a method here, right, called foo mistake, right? And oh, it shouldn't be called foo mistake. It should be called foo mistake. See what I did there? See what I did there? Mix things up there. So if I want to reroute, if I want folks to use the one and not the other, I would mark this one as obsolete and take all of the cool code that's here. Right, I would take that, move it down here, and change this so that it calls that. So this way, in the next version, we can remove this, and all of the features, all the source code are still available down here. By giving it... Back in the day when I worked at Telerik, we gave one major version of obsolete notification before we removed a feature. So I would mark this obsolete for the 3.0 version of TwitchLib. And when 4.0 comes, anything that's marked obsolete from 3.0, delete. And you should feel empowered as a developer to break a change in between those major versions. But give one version with it marked as obsolete, and then it's gone. You marked it as obsolete. If you continue to use it, too bad. Let's see. Speaking of themes, anyone know the backstory of why italics isn't a font option in Visual Studio? I don't know. Java is better than C#, asks a Natch. To each their own. Java has its place. It's the language of choice on Android. That's fine. The folks at Oracle are managing and maintaining it. The folks at Microsoft manage and maintain C#. To each their own. They both are fantastic languages. I prefer C#. Java is still catching up with C#5. Yeah, they've gotten generics. They're getting some of the other features. Microsoft is investing in adding new features to C# as a language that are a little bit more innovative than what Oracle is doing with Java. Oracle is more playing catch up with their Java features. I think what Oracle has done, though, with the Java runtime being available and other languages being able to build and target it, that's impressive. And you're seeing more of that happen with .NET. Yeah, someday Java will support crazy C# features like properties. Yeah, that's a thing. Every non-steakhouse lunch is a missed steak. Well, yeah. Now you're hungry for a foo mistake. Selective italics is doable with specific font choices. Yeah, that's in Visual Studio Code. You can do that stuff nicely. Visual Studio does not support italics. So, okay, let's take a look here. We've been migrating over these actors, and we have a top-level actor that we have as part of... no, don't save. We didn't actually change anything. We have a top-level actor that comes in from Akka that's created to manage all the different channels that our new bot will be able to handle. And we've run tests, and it's able to connect and manage 2 channels at once. I'm going to say this, and InstaFluff's going to say, hey! We snuck into InstaFluff's chat one day and in my chat, and we had the bot in 2 channels at once, and we were able to see it, connecting and getting messages back from both channels. Great. This channel manager actor knows how to do that when it receives a message called join channel. Join channel is a message that's an idempotent object, right? You can send it multiple times, but it's a single POCO object here that you create with a channel name, and you pass it along. It's serializable. It gets passed along when it's received by the channel manager actor object. Why did it close that? I didn't want you to close that. Stay there. Doc, thank you. When it's received, it'll go and spin up a channel actor for that channel. So a channel actor, here it is, knows how to connect to Twitch here, start that connection, listen for all the various events, and then process those events appropriately out to the various actors that know how to handle that. See that? Yeah, InstaFluff says it was cool. And I trust InstaFluff, all right? There we go. Absolutely. We support emojis, but not italics. You know what? That's fair feedback. That is very fair feedback to say, hey, can we support italics in Visual Studio? Here's what I would do. In Visual Studio 2019, there's a button up here on the top, and might be a feedback button here. Provide a suggestion in Visual Studio for Mac. But there's a smiley face button. There's a suggestion button in the top right corner of Visual Studio 2019. Hit that button and ask about supporting italics in there in Visual Studio. And let's see what happens. The folks on the team are listening, and you know what? Maybe they'll turn it on. They're unifying the text editors here between the various Visual Studios, so maybe it will get added. You don't know. The only way that they'll know we want it is to go onto the Visual Studio community, right? And it'll actually, that help button feeds into the Visual Studio community. Let me make sure I show you. Yeah. Visual Studio community website. No, not that community. It's... Where is it? No. Community. Developer community, visualstudio.com. There it is. Right? And if we ask for italics, code editor italic fonts. There you go. So there's 2 votes for it. And it's been open. It was commented on in April, and it was closed as a lower priority. Yeah. So while it's closed, you can still vote for it. Go out there and vote for it. So look for code editor italic fonts. Yeah, only 2 votes. Not a lot of people want it. So click through, follow it, vote for it if that's something that's important to you. Go out on Twitter, go out on social media. Let folks know, hey, if you want this, vote for it. You know, the smiley face was in older versions of Visual Studio. So, all right. If that's something you're interested in, and more power to you, if that's something you want. It won't change anything for me right now in my day-to-day coding. But if that's something you want, vote for it. They will listen. I mentioned earlier, the group is very data-driven. They'll listen and consider it. There were only 2 votes, so they closed it. Makes sense. Why work on something that's going to take a lot of work that only 2 people want? So it's incredible visibility into it. This is the difference between the Microsoft Developer Division and some of the other groups that you see there. Extremely transparent. We've learned from our open source interactions. And we're listening. We're using customer data to make decisions. The one above has 300 plus votes. Yeah. Yep. On Visual Studio user voice. I can't open that from here. Right, user voice has has been deprecated. There's features user voice is not letting Visual Studio use and support, or has features. User voice doesn't have features that Visual Studio needs for exporting and managing some of those things. There's things there. Okay. Progress of Visual Studio Code has been so rapid, you think a lot of the naysayers have come around to the data collection type things Visual Studio Code does. Yes, that's the type of data-based interactions and collection to decide, here's what we're going to do next. If you don't tell the folks that make your software what you want, how do they know what to make for you? Votes are locked on it. Okay. Does that mean the 300 votes from user voice are moving over, or does... I don't know. Not sure. Reach out to the Visual Studio account on Twitter and ask them more about that. I'm going to get back into our code here now. So the channel actor creates these other actors for the various events that happen. The various events that happen in a channel, and you know what these things are. Someone issues a command, or there's a gift subscription. A new message arrives. There's a new subscription, a raid, resubscription. We know what these things are. So we have actors that handle those events appropriately. Now, the chat command one kicks off a whole bunch of other things, because this is where we want to be able to configure and use other commands. Right, those custom commands that folks want to use. So the guest game command kicks off the ability to run the guest game. So we have a guest command that's defined here. We also created an Easter egg for Teal Old Man back in the old version of the bot that just outputs a little line of text. And it was an interesting way for us to build and add this feature and define how one of these commands is going to reach back into Twitch and send messages back. So while this was initially an Easter egg, it helped us flesh out the feature of being able to say, receive those chat command received arguments, and then broadcast the appropriate message back. Welsh Ronaldo. Nope, didn't read that one either. Currently on a 10-month streak. Fantastic. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Important thing that the avenue is open to provide that feedback. Yes, absolutely. You're not going to get a version of tools that folks aren't using and features that folks aren't using. So those are the commands that we've added, and we're going to be able to continue adding commands by extending this chat command actor, adding new command text here so that it knows here's the other commands to execute. I have a to-do here. We need to figure out a way to dynamically load these things. Back in the day, and the way that Visual Studio proper, Visual Studio 2019 works, it uses a framework called the Managed Extensibility Framework, or MEF. And it looks for, it looks for classes and objects that expose a certain user interface, a certain API, and are decorated with a particular attribute. And it will match those up and automatically load them in as features to Visual Studio. There is no 9-month badge. It should just continue. The 9-month badge was just added like within the last month or so, and I haven't created a 9-month badge yet. I don't know what I would make a 9-month badge. Green hat? We've already got a purple hat. I don't know. I need to figure out. It's a good question. Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go back down here to our older bot, the original bot, and we have these commands. So we have an add pixels command. This allows Quiltony to, or her moderators, to add currency to folks in the channel. There's also a mypixels command, and these do those interactions with the Google Sheet, right, with that storage. And I'm going to leave with the Google Sheet for now, but you better believe I'm going to get her converted to use a real database. This spreadsheet as data storage is not going to last. I will convert her. All right. Got to go with the Roy G. Biv color pattern for badges. We'll figure it out. I'll figure something out there. There'll be a thing there. Orange might be... I don't know. Darn Skippy, we're going to do it.
And then?
We'll have more badges.
And then?
Yeah, it'll be a thing. Oh, ooh. To-do. I need to put a to-do on my list of chat sound effects to get. I need to get... We don't need no stinking badges. Yeah. Meth works with .NET Core. I don't know. Does it? Is Managed Extensibility Framework in .NET Core? I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. Yep, I'm on a MacBook Air. Converting a government org from using Access to SQL Server. Right. CoderCat, SQLite is nice for a smaller application, but this is going to be a multi-threaded, multi-process application, and I would rather push my database resources out of process to a dedicated database service. Postgres, MySQL, Azure SQL, those, or even MongoDB would be pretty good for me to use for that. What's important for me, though, is that it's transactional, which kind of, in my mind, throws MongoDB out of that list. An Azure function talking to a CSV, that could be done. Sure. Could be done. Cosmos, absolutely. Different options. V2 works through system composition. Oh, thank you, T-Tutco. You just checked. Okay. I will keep that in mind. So, yeah, maybe that's something we can use. This project is completely open source. If you want to take a shot at integrating MEF there for the commands, submit a pull request. We'll put your name up on the scroll bar up at the top to thank you for your contribution. Folks like Dev Garage, Patrick, JBDK is up there. Bruno's up there, Bardaki, folks that have contributed and made changes, improvements to some of the projects we work on here on stream. We celebrate their contributions by having their name go across. We haven't worked on the Stream Deck toolkit in a while. I probably should pull that out, but there's Coding Bandit, that's Carrie Payette there. Hugo, not myself, Brady Gaster, even with a little bit of help. So we'll shuffle it around a little bit and make sure that we celebrate and show this. Mr. OneDev, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. What is this? Google Sheets interactions? So it is using Google Sheets, and it has this iSheet proxy. In the new model that we're going with, I've actually changed it so that instead of it going through iSheet proxy, it's now iCurrency repository. And I have a Google Sheet class, a class that adheres to this, that does these things, but instead of updating a database, it updates a Google spreadsheet. That's her current model, and I'm not going to change her off of that model yet. But we'll get there. You're a Scratch developer? Well, welcome. It is using Google Sheets as the database instafluff, yeah. Yeah. It's like getting your name hung up at the gas station if you donate to something. Yes, absolutely. So, last time we tried to grasp MEF, it decided it was too complex and it kind of clashes with other DI stuff. I kind of agree. There's other MEF stuff there. There's other DI stuff that I think we could do and work with. But if somebody wants to take a shot at it, you're welcome to. It's a little bit complex, but you're welcome to try it. I'm going to migrate the add pixels command. I think this is pretty easy command that we can move over here. It's got two features. It's got an execute command method, and then it's got a validate command method. So I'm going to turn this into an actor and bring it over so that it knows how to do these things, interacting with our currency repository. So let me just copy the whole kit and caboodle here. Yep, kitten. I said it. Kitten. Oh. Kit in caboodle. That's it. So much power of open source. Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to add a new file over here. I'm going to create an empty class, and we will call this the add. I'm not going to call it add pixels. I'm going to call it add currency. Yeah. Command actor. There we go. Public class, .NET quit. Fine. I don't care. I'm going to paste in. Hello? I tried to paste. Why won't you paste? Do that again. Right? There's that. No. There we go. All right. So we changed this. It is add currency command actor. Currency command actor. All right. So we have that. It changed. It's now a receive actor and ibot command actor. Those are the things we have over here. So we have that. And now there's this I requires sheet. Let me get my using statement in here. This is going to change, right? Because we're receiving an iCurrency repository in our constructor, and we stash a copy of it. We also have the channel configuration. I need both of those. So instead of this, which we were using to kind of force dependency injection to happen, I'm going to create a constructor up here. I'll use the ctor snippet to allow me to add that in. Wrong key. All right. So it was the channel configuration. Configuration, right? We received, yeah, channel configuration. No. And then iCurrency repository. Take that cool name that it suggests for me. And I'm going to control dot on these and get the appropriate using statements generated and dropped into my code. Control dot. Good. Happy Tuesday. Nick Larson is here. Hello, hello. Welcome. It's so good to see you.
Right.
No, really, it is. It's good to see Nick. There are $1 million businesses that run on Excel spreadsheets as a database. Yes. You love everything open source, even your phone is Android. That's great, Mr. One Dev. I think open source has a great place in our software development world. I also think there's a place for closed software as well, because there are some things that do need to remain secret, that need to remain as trade secrets, and those types of things isolate and keep on their own. But if you can share as much as possible, you're going to benefit in the long run from some of these things. I'm going to stash that currency repository in our Google Sheet here. It's not the same type, but it does the same thing. So I'm just going to swap that out and pass it in here. I'm going to stash a copy of that channel configuration. I'll create a property here called config, and I'll stash it. I'll do a control dot on that, and I'll create a read-only property right there. So I have my channel configuration, so I know here's how to interact with things. The whole POS application sector. POS is point of service, right? That's cash registers you might see in a store somewhere, or in a shop. Application sector seems to be okay with using access MDBs in multi-client networking with file share scenarios. Yeah, Stelzy, our friends that work with Target stores, They have a local database that they've been syncing back and forth, and that's how folks broke into them. MDB is nice for single transaction, single interaction with that. When you have more than one thread interacting with an MDB is that old Microsoft database format. It was one file that Microsoft Access used. Really nice. Fox Pro had a similar approach where you had one file sitting on disk. The problem is it's one file sitting on disk. When you have multiple threads, multiple processes trying to get a lock on that one file. I don't care how good you are. You can't get a write lock from multiple processes. Doesn't work. So one of those applications is going to get blocked and locked out, while the other one has an exclusive write lock. That's how file systems work. You can't fight that. So that's where a database server comes in, because it manages those multiple processes appropriately. DBase, there you go. Midnight tangent, Ryan. You're right. You want to choose between DBase or Fox Pro? More power to you. Yeah, it's 1 dBF per table. Still, you're running into the same thing with a lock scenario. Yep, Clipper, DBase. Yeah. Right? Fox Pro with VB. Oh, back in the day, that was a thing. So our method is no longer add pixels for chatters. It's actually add for chatters. We rename these things to take that currency specific bit out of this. And we're going to add for a specific user here. We've got most of this correct going across here. Why do you see comments before me? You think my chat box has problems? Oh, I'm not always looking at it. I'm trying to write some code here, and I come back to the chat box. You know, after I write a little bit of code, I look at chatting back and forth. When Delphi used to be popular, says InstaFluff. Don't say that to Anders. Anders Heilsberg, I've had the fortune of being able to sit with him and have some very, very nice discussions. Great guy. I would it might be fun to have him on a stream at some point. But when we're talking about design of a language, tremendous person to have on a stream. When we're talking about the implementation and actually some of the newer features, our friend Mads Torgerson, who's joined us twice on stream, and Mads is the current lead language designer, and he's been leading the C# language design for a couple years now, for at least 5. He's been the lead of it the whole time I've been at Microsoft, probably and longer than I'm sure. Mads is a tremendous asset and to our technical community, not just for C#. He also helps influence some of the Visual Basic and F# design, but he makes the final call when it comes to C#, and he is a tremendous developer. If you have a chance to see Mads Torgerson speak, he gave a session at Microsoft Build. Make sure you go, and if we have a chance to have him back in the future, maybe as we get closer to C# 8 release, we'll invite Mads to come back and join us. He's very happy to talk to our community, and I'm thrilled that he's open to joining us for a live Twitch session. It's really neat stuff when you have somebody who's such a great a great expert in our community, very well known, and is that thought leader, able to open up and join us and write some real code together. It's kind of a special stream. He stopped by Mark Miller's stream for a few minutes at Build. I didn't know that, Hugo. Oh my gosh, now I got to go find the VOD from Mark. Got to run, let you know if I want to pair on some C# code again. Yes, we need to do that, Steve. Oh my gosh, I think that would be a lot of fun. We absolutely should do that. Take care. Make sure you check out Steve Smith. Can somebody do me a favor and shout out our Dallas !SO? That'll be one of our moderators. You can shout out our Dallas there. And check out his channel. He's another one of the live coders. Nah, Nick, you're not going to get it. I'm sorry. You're not a moderator. There we go. Carrie's got it. And Steve shouted out himself. There you go. I need to change. So the command text is add, but it's more than add, right? It was !add, adds currency, but I think we want it to be like add and the name of your currency, right? Not just, yeah. right? So in Coltoni's case, we would want it to be add pixels. Maybe you have that option, maybe you don't. Maybe that's a feature of your configuration. I'm going to go back over here to the one that we worked on here for the teal old man command actor. Instead of think Jeff, think. Instead of the execute method, we have we receive the on chat command received arguments. Let's actually just copy this, right? Because the actor command, the actor model says you receive these objects and pass them along. So we'll put some of this here. I'll control dot and get my using statement. So this actor will receive the chat command received arguments and will pass that along to our message processing. So let's forward this. Let's forward this to the execute method, and we'll change the signature of our execute method so that it behaves appropriately. Forward is just expecting to receive an object that is that message. Okay. So we're forwarding on chat command received args. So instead of having this, let's change this to on chat command received args, and I'll just call it args here. So there's a validate. So it's going to validate, right, information to make sure that you are allowed properly to add this. We still need to add the G Fuel command. We do. Yes. Add currency defense. Look at the defense from InstaFluff. I didn't define. Yeah. Oh, and a hat. That'd be good too. Oh, who was asking about ML.net earlier? So an idea that I floated by our friend Seth Juarez, the Seth Juarez, right? You know the Seth Juarez.
And then?
You know, the guy from Channel 9.
And then?
He does things. Jared! Is that Jared Bauer? Thank you for the follow. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. The idea that I floated by him was, what if we made the hat command use machine learning to identify the hat I'm wearing? Right? We could train... No, and then... Come on, Lannon! So what if we made the hat command use machine learning to identify my hat? You like that, Hugo? Right? We could train it. Here's pictures of all of Jeff's hats. As I get a new hat, take a picture. We put it on a website, and I am going to start working on... I do have fritzenfriends.stream and fritzenfriends.live, those websites. I'm going to start building those out. I've got some cool plans for those. But here's all of my hats out there as different pictures with a little story about them, whatever, you know, just a quick blurb. Have the hat command identify the hat, be trained on that model,
And then?
tell you what it is in channel, and the little story behind it. Hat-driven development. I know! Darn Skippy, oh my lord, and do the thing. Hugo, I like that combo. I like it. AI hats. And InstaFluff thinks it would be fun. And,
But what I do have,
he has
a very particular set of
a
skills.
very particular set of skills.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
A very long career. InstaFluff's older than he looks. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Like those generated kittens and faces. Yes! I think it's a cool idea. So, maybe... What if we made June Machine Learning June? And we just did machine learning stuff in June. I got it. I got it. Carrie, you're gonna groan at this. AI July. AI July! Right? What do you think? AI July?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Who asked you? You could use A-Forge for hat cognition, maybe. AI July. I think that's a thing. Do me a favor, chat room. Go out to Twitter and ask folks what they think of AI July. We could build an AI hack that hacks bad hackers. Now, Mr. One Dev. I don't know. Will it be a theme for everyone? You know what? InstaFluff. I'm not opposed to doing a little cross-team collaboration. That might be fun. That might be a lot of fun to do a little cross live coders team collaboration. AI July. You're in a deep AI trip right now, pulling data from PDF files. Nice. Nice. Idea that came up live on our Twitch stream. What if at the live coders did AI July and the team was encouraged to check out AI features for their projects during the month. Let me know. There you go. I think that could be a thing. AI July. What if you don't want a? That's fine. July OT? Okay, sure. Maybe July OT? Could be a thing as well. Let's talk. I think that would be a lot of fun. AI June and IoT July? It doesn't. July OT Hugo. Yeah. July OT. That's nice. I see what you did there. All right, let me come back over here. Let's tune this down and see if we can get this add feature to work. Okay. So we're going to take in these arguments. We need to validate the command, and we need to also get access to Twitch. Well, Teal Command Actor got access to Twitch by taking it took a broadcast message. Oh, it did sender forward. Silly only. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. It forwarded this message. I don't want to forward that message. That's not going to work. Hang on. I did that wrong. I did that way wrong. I didn't even think this through. Bad Jeff. Bad Jeff. I just want to execute. I don't want to drop the on chat command received args. Let's bring those along. So let's execute, pass in the args, and also pass along. Well, no, I have the sender. Because, right, sender is always available. So, and the sender is, right? The sender is going to be the chat command actor. Chat command actor knows how to broadcast message, right? Oh, no. We tell and we pass along the sender of this one, and that is the channel actor, which knows how to broadcast message. Okay. All right. Have a good one, Lee. Thanks so much. I/O is input, output. IoT is Internet of Things. Yes. Yes, Pat. Enemy names and quotes for a game you're working on during Ludum Dare. Oh, cool. Oh, I gotta learn more about Ludum Dare. I do. Alright, I don't need this right now. I'm done with the add pixels command. I can get rid of this one. Alright, so we're going to receive those arguments. So we're going to validate, and we need to pass along... Well, I don't need to pass along chat service, because it knows... We know how to reach back to it. So we should be able to, instead of the chat command, I should be able to pass along the arguments. Well, wait, I don't want to pass all the arguments. If I pass command... Oh, that is a chat command. Look at that. But it's a different... The domain chat command is different. All right. Domain. This chat command. Yes, I see. Next one's in October. Maybe. Here's the thing with October. Last year I did Ubuntober and everything was in Ubuntu. I need to figure out a month to do Linux. And I like October for it. We'll talk about it. We'll think about it. Ubuntober. Yeah. See? That could be a thing. It is. It's a thing. I feel like I want a way to convert automatically from the Twitch domain chat command to this domain chat command without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I feel like that should be a thing. Which is something that I would want to extend and just have hanging out there as an extension thing. I don't think I put one together last time in here. No. That's okay. All right. I'm still trying to remember all the things that we built here. Soon every month will be a Linux month. Windows subsystem, Linux for 2. Hey, Twitch Loft. Good to see you.
Wow.
Yeah, Twitch Loft's here. Check it out. There, right there. CentOS Sober. Know what I mean, Vern? Know what I mean? That's a thing. Already starting to try and figure out travel streaming setup. I thought I would take the summer off as it would be in Canada. Can't miss July OT or AI July. Yeah, that could be a thing. I don't know. So I didn't create a way to convert between the two, did I? Oh, that's lame. Who knew? Man. Alright, you know what? I'm going to... Can I eliminate the domain? What happens if I eliminate the domain here? Well, that's one way to do it. I was trying to comment it, but guess not. So I've eliminated the domain. It doesn't know what this is yet, but if I control dot and I get that one, I think it works. So it doesn't know what Twitch is. So what I could do, I can say sender dot forwards the message to the current sender. Now sender.tell. It's different. Asynchronously deliver a message in a non-blocking fashion. Yes. Tell. New broadcast message. And I'm going to need to control dot that. So I get the messages object. And the broadcast message just has a string for the message. And... cool. Okay. If the argument count does not equal 2, invalid format. Right. So we're going to do the same type thing here. Sender. No. Bad. Okay. And it's a new whisper message. Because that's a thing. Oh, you make me sad. Fine. I'm going to alias this so it knows the difference between the two. So I can change this to new MSG dot, because I have the same object names in different namespaces. Sentiment September. Scriptember, all scripting. Ooh, that could be interesting. You're buying a generator so you can work from camp. Quite literally, Carrie's going to have code camp. That's not that scary. September is for shipping. Yes, Nick. Oh, I like that. Invalid format to add. Here we go. So I'm going to say config. Yes, that worked. That worked. Because we have a currency configuration that has the name of the name of the currency in it. So I'm going to change this here as well. do this thing. Okay. What? Wait a sec. Who? Username to add. Pixels. Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, so we need to change this back to that same sender dot tell new whisper message. And go down to the end. Add a paren. I need another paren here. What am I missing? Command, chat message. No. It's not. Wait a sec. How does that one know what it is, but this one doesn't? Can I convert string? Oh, I didn't put the MSG in front of this doodad. Okay, so still got some red lines here. I'm looking in the gutter right here. Not there. Here. And cleaning up some of these. So command argument says list dot trim. That's the username. Well, I can access that args command, and that should be done for there. Yes. Args dots. Oh. Yep, fixed capitalization. Args dots. Yep. Do the thing. Do the thing already. See, that's weird that it kind of... My friend Suze Hinton would be very upset with how I'm navigating on the keyboard here. I'm like a monkey juggling coconuts badly here. See, look, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
A nutless monkey can do your job.
When? That's enough out of you. That's my producer, I'm sorry, my agent, Len Goodman. All right, so why doesn't it know what channel configuration is? Don't you know the thing? If I control dot there, and I get the domain deal. Now I've got some reds down here. args.command. Okay, I think I need to make this a domain. Rats. And alias that. Which does this. Okay. And set A. That's not how you spell domain. Cool. All green. Super green. Oh, I gotta fix that hype. AI is now August intelligence. Ooh. So by the end of August, Fritzbot will be self-aware and take over the channel like Skynet. Don't I have a bot voice?
AI August. No, not gonna do it.
That could be a thing. Maybe. Alright, so if I go back over to my terminal, it should have compiled and it should be successful. Look at that. It built. It ran. It's all good. I'm feeling good about myself. Everything ran. Everything runs successfully. It knows how to do that thing. But I need to wire up the add currency command. So I'm going to go back over to my... not that one. I'm going to go back over to my chat command actor, and I need to add the ability to do add pixels. I should probably put these like in alphabetical order so it's easy to find these for right now. Yeah, so let's just move this up. Add is going to go first. Yeah. Return context. Well, I actually need to pass in things. I need to actually have it... I need to have it create and pass in the appropriate arguments. Those are properties. And the way to do that with Akka was to create a props object and pass that along. We did that... we did that with some of these, and I forget where it was. There was a props object, like a static props, to pass those along. You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember this, chat room? It was a while since we've done this. It's been at least 2 weeks. Handle the currency. Yeah, see, we need to pass in for resubscriber actor. Was it in the channel actor? There. Props create, and we passed in the config context actor of, and that's how we returned it. So we need to pass in the configuration. August 29th was the Skynet self-aware date. Oh, that's right, it was from the movie, from Terminator. That's right. Sentient September, October, then Skynet Vember. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that hype command. Gosh, now I feel shame. I'm not pressing the button. I am not pressing that button. It's right there, but I'm not pressing it. All right, so I want to create this static method inside of the add currency command actor. Make this easier to create right next to it. So this is going to be, no. Can I control Z? Yes. Okay, create actor. Yeah. I don't need the generic type. And I don't need the where. Because it's creating itself. So actor props create. So I need to receive the channel configuration. So that's domain dot channel configuration, and I also need to receive the iCurrency repository. Currency repository, which means I can. Yeah, I need to leave it as a public creator. November.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
No, it's good, Dr. Evil. We like that one. And then Timber. So what is scripting and what makes it different from coding? Asks Slateboard. Scripting is typically not compiled. It's interpreted. You don't structure so much into a series as an application. So things like PowerShell, or there's a script CS is out there as well. Bash scripting, those things. Nah, not darn Skippy Timber. Nah. Python I wouldn't roll into script because I think the Python you build full applications with. Hacktoberfest. Oh my gosh, Hugo. Don't tell Robert Tables that one. Hacktoberfest. Nodatember. Actually, there's Nodevember that they do. It is considered? Python's considered a script. Okay. Yeah, I think Hacktoberfest is something Robert Tables should consider. Sovember. Oh my gosh. It's getting a little crazy in here. All right, so I'm going to pass along the config. I'm going to create aka prop, not T. I'm creating this object, which is add currency command actor. I'm passing in not just, it's not that config, it's this config. And currency repository. Okay. Return context actor of props and well, wait a sec. Actor of, I don't need to give it a name. I don't want to give it a name. Cool. All right. So now we can create that actor appropriately from the parent object and pass in all that information. We are masters of the surprise squirrel today. Yes, we are. Those rails way over there. Oh, we're way off the rails. Absolutely. Oktoberfest? Oktoberfest? Maybe. We're a little nutty today. And that's okay. It's good to have fun here. So now I'm going to say, not context. I'm going to reach into the add currency command actor. Create actor. And now I pass in the configuration, which I do have here. Config. That's the channel configuration. And I need to pass in the currency repository. So I can... Do I have it? Do I have it? How did we pass the currency configuration into... You can launch Python environment and start scripting. Does that make it valid to be scripting? I don't know. You can certainly Python script, but it's not constrained to just that. Where PowerShell or Bash script, you can't write a full application with. Plus, you need an interpreter for Python. You need one for PowerShell as well. Is that lifetime scope-wise correct? Which one? Why don't you hang it onto this actor with actor of props? Hang it onto this actor. Well, I've created the... so I've got actor of props actually happening here on the context. There's a Java REPL, sure. Hang on, I'm trying to work through... So I'm returning the actor of for the current context, which will be coming out of here. What's the lifetime scope of the context? Don't know. That's managed by the framework. There is now a C# REPL. There's several C# REPLs that are available that folks are using. Bike scheduary, yeah. Yeah, we do a bit of that all the time. But I need to pass in that currency repository. Where am I getting it from? Where'd it go? It's in the, not the channel events, over here. So it just forwards the arguments down into the events, but the events need to be receiving iCurrency repository. So how is it getting it? I don't think it's actually receiving it. An actor created like this is hanging somewhere, but not under the actor. Do it like the teal old man command. So if we come back over here, chat command actor, context actor of. Yeah, but aren't that... Yep, Mono has one as well. You're right. But aren't we doing the same thing? It's just being fired from a different class? We're managing the construction from the same class. The guest actor seems to have the same problem. Right, we're creating these actors and we're managing them here. And they're not being stored. So I was hoping to store them in this commands block. Well, actually, hang on. This is creating the actor. It creates and stashes it in that dictionary. So this is just doing the create. Right, so I'm actually storing it in there. What do we got over here? Okay. Dependency injection. Creating child actors using DI. Yeah. Context DI props my actor. So you need to configure dependency injection in order to get that in there, and I don't have a way to do. You need to. So yeah, this is. We started bike shedding on this one a while ago about. Yeah. We would need to write a dependency injection adapter for the ASP.NET framework to get it working. You're not completely sure that the actor system can reach these actors if you don't do the context. I am doing the context. It's coming in. It's coming in, right? The context here, isn't that the same context that I have here? Right? I'm coming in from a static here. It should know the context there. I think I'm okay. I mean, what I'm hearing the suggestion from the chat room is, right? And I don't know where this is getting created here. This one I'm concerned about because I need to receive that iCurrency repository, and it's calling create actor, right? And it's not passing along the dependency. Not completely sure that the actor system can reach these actors. AkaNet, ASP.NET Core. Did somebody do this? Let me see, what do we got there? One actor system to rule them all. iApplication lifetime. Yeah. I think I have this bookmarked. I'm going to bookmark it anyway. That link that was shared. But I'm looking. I don't see dependency injection in here anywhere. If there is a context, then it is an actor of this context. Right. My challenge here is the dependency injection. I'd really like to use the dependency injection feature of ASP.NET Core, but I don't see it coming in here. But we need to pass that currency repository. And the currency repository is in... Didn't I register it here? It's not registered here yet. Oh, wait a tick. Wait a sec. Go back to the channel actor. iCurrency repository here. Look at this. Where is that being used? Configure currency repository. And we're trying to do activator create instance as currency repository. That should work. The scope of an actor is handled by the actor system, and in my opinion, the normal DI clashes design-wise with Akka. Yes, I agree. So, saving the currency repository for a channel actor as a property on the channel actor means then that I should be able to reach back into it and get the currency repository. Should. Just thinking away from the current path, what about a repository actor which performs all repository interactions? I would have to look it up and find it. Which will move me a little bit further away from I feel like the channel actor is going to turn into a God model. Where it's got all these responsibilities that it's handing out. Versus if there's a repository actor, we're passing information over to that to do the interactions. Maybe. Maybe. I would need to have a reference to it. Books, manager, actor, provider. Ugh. I think we've got some interesting questions to solve here. And it's clear to me that we don't quite have the answer yet here. They did services at Singleton, but then you need to... I think... Okay. I'm not sure we need to have... So... the challenge we're going to run into with the Google Sheet repository actor is the Google Sheet interactions will hit an API limit. And we'll need to be able to queue those up at some point. YAGNI, don't need it right now. YAGNI is an acronym for You Aren't Gonna Need It. Don't need it yet, but we're going to need to consider that. But we need to be able to pass this repository around, and we already have a problem where we need to pass it into the channel events. So how do we have this repository? How do we use it? A Google Sheet repository actor per channel isn't too bad. That, I think, makes sense. In which case... See, I think it's almost over actor modeling it to have an actor that is the repository. You have a repository object. Use it. There it is. Done. And we move on. I don't want to create an interface that has currency repository. Has repositories. And have to walk up that. Sourcegoot, thanks so much for the resub. 2 months. And we'll make a donation to Veterans Who Code. It feels weird. If I were to create an interface to be able to pass it back and forth. So what if I just pass? I mean, I know what my sender is. My sender is the channel actor. So what if I just tell it, here's the command to go do with the repository. You volunteered to be a mentor. That's awesome, Shauna the Dev. Why don't I just create a message to do with the currency repository? Right? Let's create a message. Yeah, let's create a message to do that. Suneth, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. So let's create currency messages. And then if we move the repository out as its own actor, we can still handle it as more messages. So we'll add another file in here. Let's create an add currency message. Right? This feels like the right. Yeah, we can forward it. We can do things with this. We want to make this serializable. What do we got here? I'm going to scroll down here. I want to copy things like how the join channel does this. Yeah, it's got the private read-only. properties for this. So we want to define a property. This is going to be the username that we're going to be giving to, right? But we want it to be private, so we're going to get rid of this. We want it to be read-only. Sure. And we're going to specify an amount. Which means we need to pass those in. Int amount. This dot amount equals amount. Do that left side, right side. So then from add currency command actor, instead of doing this and the interaction with the repository here, if we specify the channel, we can tell it to behave appropriately when it gets over there. So let's do this. Sender.tell, because sender is the channel actor, because we were forwarded. New MSG dot currency dot add currency message. The username to add is going to be the channel instead. The channel has I believe it has a hash in front of it. Let's make sure it has a hash in front of it. Yeah. Like, no, that's not what I wanted. I want. Oh, come on, you're not going to let me drag it up there? You make me sad. That's better. Okay, and then the amount is this. Right? Oh, and I do need to pass in the acting user. We're going to need that also. Can I just jump through that? Yeah, good. String acting user. So we can record who made the change. This dot acting user equals acting user. Right? Public string acting. Cool. So let's go down to the end, and we'll copy this. Copy that in. Was it here? Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be the exact same thing down here, except it'll be this instead. Cool. I think that works. There's another example. Building a basket microservice. Yes, I've seen that one as well. All right, so if I receive that back into channel actor, I need to receive that message and know what to do with it. So let's add another receive statement here to train it. Add currency message. See, now this does feel a little weird, because I feel like these should be living, right? This particularly managing the currency should be living somewhere else. But for right now, I'll just pass it along. So let's control dot, generate that method. So what I should be able to do is, right, currency, repository. I need to pivot. If message dot username starts with the hash. Now, why doesn't it like that? Why am I getting yellow squiggle? Is culture aware and missing a stream comparison? I don't care. We'll figure that out later. So if it's, so we're gonna say add for chatters because we're adding it to everybody in the channel. So that'll be message, username, substring 1. So we skip the hash and keep moving forward. The number to add is going to be message dot amount, and then the acting user is message acting user. Otherwise, currency repository add for user, message username, message amount, message acting user. Now I could make that a little bit more concise. I could make this one, no, I can't make it one statement. I do need to do 2 different ones because it's 2 different methods. I'm okay with that. I think it makes it, the intent is a little bit clearer as to what it's actually doing. Let's see, how's our terminal there? Cannot convert from domain channel configuration to string. This is on line 137 in the channel actor. I'm in channel actor. You don't like that, do you? Well, that's... What doesn't it like? It wants a string. Create instance. No, I'm passing in. I'm passing in a type. And I'm passing in the arguments at this point. I don't know what the 3rd argument is yet. I'm just going to pass a new object. Now tell me I'm wrong. No. Hey, Johan. Good to see you. I think we're just about done here for the day. No, not new string. If I want to pass my arguments, I want to pass them like this. So I get it as a... No, doesn't like that either. Come on, I'm trying to fool you. Okay, hang on. Sheet type isn't a type. There's our first problem. But, yeah, if I want it as a type... no, get type won't let me... No. Okay, so if I take that as a string, as the string for the type... Can I do that? Ugh. Time flies when you're having fun. It does. Can I say type, get type? String type name, bool, throw an error. Sure. That works now. Can I just leave this as config? Like that? Come on. There goes the build right there behind my head. Nope, didn't like it. Can I convert from channel configuration to string? Oh, that's the previous one. Hang on. Come on. Well, it built. Tested successful. Ship it! It must be good.
Do it live!
No, not quite. Cool. So, let's do a quick git status. Oh, I'm not in the right folder. Duh. Yep, that's where I want to be. I've got a couple new files. I'm just going to do a straight git add. Not git, gut. All right. Started work on managing currency with commands. Okay. And I will push. And I feel good. Things are cleaned up. We're moving in the right direction here. And we've got a template that is clear how we need to go forward with this. We started with that add currency. We did a lot of catch up on things from Microsoft Build, and I think we've landed in a place where we're back in our distributed chatbot. We're building actors, and we're figuring out exactly how much we need to change and enhance here to improve this. I think that's a very good thing. Very good thing indeed. I'm in the wrong... Let's see. Who's in science and technology broadcasting that we can raid right now? I think I can. I think I can. Let me open a new tab here. I need a quick link out to the Teams page. Let's see here. Let's see if anybody's broadcasting that we can hop on real quick. You know what? There's our friend Code Rushed. Let's raid Mark. There we go. We're going to raid our friend Mark Miller, Code Rushed. So let's set up for the raid. If you're a subscriber, grab that top line of text out of chat from the chatbot. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Grab the second line of text. Copy it onto your clipboard. We're going to get over. We're going to go see our friend Mark Miller, who's working on, I think he's working on his Dungeons & Dragons overlays. Yes, these are amazing. He's doing some really neat things here with JavaScript and... There they are. With JavaScript and the... And animations using CSS. Really, really neat stuff. So I want you to stick around, say hi to our friend Mark when we get over there, and have a good day. All right? Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. I'll be back. Actually, I won't be back again until Friday. Thursday, I have an event at my kid's school, but we'll be back on Friday, and we'll do some more work on the bot. All right. In the meantime, if you saw something that you'd like to make a change to, you'd like to enhance, send a pull request over there to the GitHub repository. You'll find it under C# Fritz, and it's the Quill Tony Pixel Bot. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. I will see you Friday. Take care.